You know that feeling when you check your bank account and instead of immediately closing the app in horror, you actually smile? Like when you stop calculating whether you can afford that coffee or if buying groceries means eating ramen for the rest of the week. There's a specific number where this shift happens, and it's not what most people think. Most financial gurus will tell you that you need $1 million to feel wealthy or that 6 figures is the magic number. But here's the thing they're missing. There's a much smaller milestone that completely transforms your relationship with money. And once you hit it, everything changes. That number is $20,000. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and financial psychology. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up helping you see money differently. Now, before we dive into why $20,000 is the real game changer, let me ask you something. When you think about building wealth, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture some trust fund kid who never had to worry about money. Or perhaps you imagine someone grinding away for years. The truth is, wealth building doesn't work the way most people think it does. There are certain financial thresholds that act like invisible barriers. $20,000 is the first major threshold that separates those who will build significant wealth from those who will spend their lives living paycheck to paycheck. Think about it this way. If you've ever tried to push a heavy boulder up a hill, you know that getting it started is the hardest part. But once you build enough momentum, something magical happens. The boulder starts moving faster and eventually rolls down the other side almost effortlessly. $20,000 is that turning point where your financial boulder finally crests the hill. Everything after this point feels like gravity is working in your favor. The difference isn't just mathematical. The real magic happens in your brain. When you don't have money saved, your brain operates in survival mode. Every financial decision is filtered through fear and scarcity. You take the first job offer that comes along because you can't afford to be picky. When you're in survival mode, your brain literally can't think about growth. It's like trying to plan a vacation while your house is on fire. But something remarkable happens when you cross that $20,000 threshold. Suddenly, your brain has the space to think differently. Research from Vanguard shows that having just $2,000 in emergency savings increases your financial well-being by 21%. When you push that fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses, around $20,000, you've created enough breathing room for your brain to think about wealth building. Let's say you're saving $1,000 every month, earning an 8% return. Getting to your first $20,000 takes about 19 months, but your second $20,000 doesn't take another 19 months. It only takes about 17 months, because now you've got that first $20,000 working alongside you. That's the power of compound interest starting to kick in. By the time you're going for your third $20,000, the timeline shrinks even more. Once you hit $400,000, you can generate your next $20,000 in just 5 months. The acceleration becomes almost comical. It's just basic mathematics. When you invest $1,000 and it grows 10%, you make $100. Apply that to $20,000 and you're looking at $2,000 in profit. Money you didn't have to earn through your job. Money that showed up because your existing money was working on your behalf. When you save $20,000, you fundamentally rewired your brain and built the most important financial habit you'll ever develop. You proved to yourself that you can control your money instead of letting it control you. You became the person who can delay gratification. When you have $20,000 in the bank, unexpected expenses become minor inconveniences. Your car needs repairs. Annoying, but not catastrophic. You start noticing opportunities. A killer deal on a rental property? Now you can run the numbers and see if it makes sense. Having money gives you options, and options create more opportunities. You stop sweating the small stuff and start thinking strategically. Having $20,000 saved doesn't just change your relationship with money. It changes your relationship with work. You have walking away money. You become more confident, more assertive. You're negotiating from a position of strength instead of desperation. That $20,000 is not a reward for good behavior. It's the foundation of your entire financial future. Don't blow it on something stupid. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. You're not just spending money, you're actively destroying wealth. Everything gets filtered through the lens of opportunity cost. That $30,000 car could have grown to over $200,000 in 20 years. Start building that foundation today, because your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. Trust me, they'll thank you